Okay, we've got the ribs all done. They're attached. They're all trimmed and everything. Is looking really good. The next step is to start shaping the top profile and the back profile of the ribs. So what I've done is I've taken the back ribs off and I've just got the top ribs and the core clamped to the bench here. And what I'm doing right now is I'm just using a piece of chalk to chalk the top of the ribs all the way around. So once that's done, I'm going to show you how to do this by hand. I've got a tool that will help do it, that I highly recommend that people go build for themselves. But for now, you can do this by hand. It's just a lot of work, and it's worth it. I think this is the best mold I've ever seen, because what it does is it shows the profile of your top and back. In my case, I'm using a 15-foot radius on the top and on the back. If you were to choose to use 25 or 28 or whatever available radius dishes there are, that's just fine. But this will allow me to put that radius on the top. So once the sides are in the mold, I see what the radius, or I see what the profile is actually going to be, and I can start planing those sides down to where they match the appropriate profile. So anyway, you can see I've chalked this whole thing. Now I'm going to get a 15-foot radius dish, which I just happen to have right here, and I'm going to start sanding this. Some people call this driving the bus. And you can see where it's hitting. It's hitting here, here, and here, which is, if you think about it, pretty much to be expected. So what I want to do now, I mean, you can just continue to use this radius dish and sand it all the way down, which will take something short of forever, or you can get out a plane. And that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to get out a little hand plane and just start planing some of these areas down a little bit, and then come back and do some more sanding and see where it goes. I'm going to use the plane just to kind of speed the process up. So let me grab one real quick. So this is just a little Stanley block plane, and I can see where I need to take material off. So I'm going to go just speed up that process a little bit. Now, if you get down to the point where you're about to hit one of the bolts, you need to take that rib off, go back over to the drill press and with a Forstner bit and just lower that hole a little bit to hide to further bury that screw head. So you don't want to have your plane blade hit a metal screw head. That would be bad. Okay, so that's just a little bit there. So I'm going to re-chalk this area so I know exactly where I'm hitting. And come back and sand some more. You want to be sure that your sanding is as straight as you can get it. So if I'm sanding too much on one side, I want to start leaning to the other side a little bit and get this as perfectly level as I can possibly get it. So you can see this is coming along pretty well. I've taken that down a little too fast, so I'm hitting up here. So I'm just going to keep sanding a little bit. Okay. That's looking all right. Since this is not symmetrical, this side and this side are not going to come off at even rates. So this is actually looking pretty good. I've taken this part down a little too fast, but you can see this other area here and here are looking pretty even. And up here, I think everything's looking good. So I'm not going to keep showing this all the way through this process, but what I am going to do is show you a method to do it with, it's not exactly automatic, but with a little bit of machine help.